What? Stop learning songs? But how am I going to be ready for Sunday? Before you jump to conclusions, if you're a drummer who plays in church, of course you should learn and prepare the songs that you need to play for Sunday. But I can say with absolute confidence and conviction that learning the songs each week isn't going to help you improve your skills overall or long term. Hi, my name is Adam, and if you're a church drummer and you're interested in becoming the very best you can be on the drums, then please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one, and play a paradiddle on that like button to help me reach more drummers. This video is for drummers who struggle to break down songs on your own when you're learning to play them. The commonplace solutions among worship musicians and the worship education industry are either subscribing to some kind of song tutorial service or searching here on YouTube to find a cover that you can actually play. Or you might piecemeal together several YouTube covers together just to get ready to play a new song on Sunday. Sure, it's going to help you prepare to play for that weekend if you can follow the tutorials or covers, but it's a short-term solution and it won't prepare you to be able to play the next song or the next. There are merits to learning songs exactly like the recording, which we'll talk about in a bit, but for a majority of churches with limited musicians, talent, and resources, trying to play songs exactly like professional bands like Bethel, Elevation, Vertical Worship, etc. is just not always practical or feasible. If you only rely on song tutorials, there are several problems you'll run into. First of all, the worship leader might change things up once you get to rehearsal. This can be a challenge because if you've done your due diligence and practiced a song tutorial or YouTube cover, you would have practiced the song in a particular order. If you're asked to start the song at a different spot or in a different order, it's really easy to be thrown off. And another reason why I don't think searching YouTube for covers or subscribing to these song tutorial services is a good long-term solution is because many churches are more spirit-led or maybe more off-the-cuff style worship, which requires more of an ability to flow on your instrument than play a song, by rote memory. Song tutorials won't prepare you for this kind of environment where you need to be ready to move into a different part of the song at a moment's notice. So before we move on, is the worship at your church more off the cuff or spirit-led worship, or is it more planned out? Let me know in the comments. So you might be wondering then, what is the solution? And I'm going to tell you. If you want to be the best musician you can be and more of an asset to the worship team and not a distraction, you of course need to prepare the songs for Sunday, but you also need to be working on overall musicianship skills. Musicianship skills encompasses a ton of different aspects, but they're only going to help you not only play the songs with confidence in any environment, but you'll also be able to learn the songs just like the recording if you're either required to do so or if that's what you want to do. Musicianship skills for drummers are things like technique, coordination, rudiments, independence, reading, writing, subdivisions, rhythmic dictation, or ear training. I played for a church where they really wanted the songs to be pretty exact to the recording, and I was only able to do it in a reasonable amount of practice time because I had a good foundation of musicianship. Many mega-sized churches do require this because they believe it will create an environment of less distraction for the congregation. And I'll admit I'm not completely in agreement with this approach to worship, but that's a conversation for a totally different time. While I love adding my own flair and style to the songs, I do think as musicians, we should be capable of playing whatever is required, even if it's exactly like the recording. The merit to learning songs note for note is that it will push you outside of your comfort zone, and you'll learn new vocabulary on your instrument. While I don't suggest you try and do this to prepare for playing at church each week, I do think it's an amazing practice exercise to improve your skills. If you always play the song how you want to play it, Or if you always dumb it down, then you'll only draw from what you already know how to play. Thus, you aren't really growing in your skills. You'll probably find yourself playing the same fills, the same grooves that you always do inside of every song that you learn. Anyways, back on the topic of musicianship skills. All of these skills are going to work together to help you become the drummer you really want to be. And unfortunately, you don't really learn these things from song tutorials. You might be able to pick up some of it, but it will take a lot longer compared to just practicing all of these aspects directly. Without musicianship skills, learning songs is going to be a long, arduous process of listening to the songs over and over and hunting for covers on YouTube. On top of that, after you learn one song, it's not going to help you pick up the next song that you need to learn. And then you'll become forever dependent on listening to the songs over and over and looking up covers. So while we don't have time in this video to go over all of the aspects of musicianship, I want to highlight some of the ones that I feel are the most important for playing at church. In my opinion, one of the most important aspects of being a church drummer is ear training. Let's be honest, much of being a church drummer is learning songs, and without ear training, it's very difficult to decipher what is going on in the song in order to learn it. If you've been following me for a while, you already know that I'm a huge proponent of reading and writing music as a church drummer as well. As a matter of fact, I have made an entire video on the benefits of reading and writing, and I put that one in the description if you want to check it out. While you might not need reading and writing to be a great player, it's pretty important to make the skill of ear training worthwhile. If you have a well-developed ear without reading and writing, then it's somewhat of an incomplete skill because you won't be able to visualize the rhythms that you're hearing and you won't be able to write them down with any kind of specific detail. Then you're just having to rely on your memory. Don't get me wrong and don't get me confused. I'm not at all talking about bringing, a fully notated song to church and reading down the page at church. I have honestly only met one drummer in my life who does that, but I'm talking about having a good understanding of notes and rhythm on the page. Ear training, reading music, and writing music all work together to make learning songs 10 times faster. And you won't need any song tutorials or drum covers to supplement. Okay, so this one is obvious, but in order to play the drums effectively, you need to work on technique. While I would say ear training is more of an intellectual aspect of drumming, technique is the primary physical side of drumming. If you have your ear training on point and you can hear what is going on in the song, it's not really going to do you much good if you can't even play close to how they're playing it. A big part of what holds drummers back is lack of technique that will enable you to play with speed and clarity. Unfortunately, technique is not something you can master overnight. Most drummers get so caught up in what they need to play, but they aren't always mindful of how they're trying to play it. This, in fact, could be the very thing that is causing it to not sound quite right, or you not being able to get it up to speed. Beyond the benefits of being able to play what you want to play and have it sound exactly how you want it to sound, proper technique will also help you prevent yourself from injury like carpal tunnel or tendonitis. So when you're practicing, make sure you're occasionally taking a look at your hands, your grip, your arms, and how you're playing things, and make sure you're using proper technique. So the last aspect of musicianship for drummers that I want to talk about is another physical aspect of drumming that is extremely important, and that is coordination, or more commonly known as independence. One important long-term goal for drummers is attaining total limb independence. This is where all your limbs can be playing something different all at the same time. When I was growing up playing in church, it seemed like a lot of praise and worship music was very simple, and the drummer's role was just to keep the beat. But now modern worship music has stepped into a new direction where more independence is required to play the parts, because now most of the songs are incorporating much more of the kit than just your hi-hat, snare, and bass drum. As you're working on musicianship skills, you're really going to need independence in order to pull off playing the parts in modern worship songs. Developing independence isn't specific to any particular song either, so working on this skill will ensure you're ready when the next song comes around. There are so many more aspects of musicianship that are important, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them that are very important to playing in church. I also want to say that I didn't list these aspects in a specific order that you need to learn them in. Learning the drums and becoming the best player you can be involves working on many of these skills all at the same time, but still within a specific sequence so you don't get stuck along the way. If you think you need help in these areas and you're committed and interested in becoming the best drummer you can be, I want to invite you to click the link below this video, which will take you to another video that I will share with you a bit about how I teach my students in the areas that we talked about. Then, if you want to know more after watching that video, you will have an opportunity to book a call with me one-on-one and we'll talk about potentially working together. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this one.